Ladies and gentlemen, with the news of the Bulls getting the 4th pick yesterday and making a video about it, there have been a lot of conversations about who the Bulls should go for in the 2020 NBA draft. It's going to be very interesting to see where the Bulls go. Will they go for the best or will they go for what's required? In the end, there is so much to talk about. There's also been a lot of different opinions. So here are at least the 6 candidates that I think could potentially get drafted by the Chicago Bulls in the 2020 draft. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show. Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a Chicago Bulls video in relation to the NBA draft. Another one has happened, man. It's hot topic, hot news. We've got the 4th pick and we're looking to see where we will turn to find our future for the Chicago Bulls. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. The Chicago Bulls fans, man, I can't get enough of you guys. I absolutely love it. You guys smashed out the target of 110 subscribers only within a few days, man. Absolutely incredible stuff. I can't thank you guys enough. So obviously the next goal will be 120. We're going to keep on going and Chicago Bulls will never stop, man. Bulls till I die. The Bulls will never die. So let's get into this video about the NBA draft, and it's going to be interesting because with the 4th pick comes a lot of responsibility on the teams above us that will help to shape what exactly we pick. Now, some of the players that I will mention in this video is probably almost likely going to get moved up and get picked by the Warriors or get picked by Minnesota or even by the Hornets. We have a lot of ways to go here, and it all depends on the teams above us that will help shape where we go. Arturis has said on multiple occasions he's going to pick the best available player. Now, that could potentially mean even we have to trade up for it, or maybe we stay where we are and we pick from where the 4th position is. There's no denying that the 4th position is a fantastic pick for the Chicago Bulls. If we trade up, I don't see that being the best of ideas because we're going to have to give up an extremely good asset just to get into a 2nd pick. So in my opinion, for anybody that's talking about let's trade up, let's go to the 2nd pick, let's go to the 1st pick, the only way that I can see that happening is if we don't give up the 4th pick to do it. If we're giving up Zach LaVine or Wendell Carter or Larry Marketing, you have to ensure that we do not give up the 4th pick as well. If we do that, it's completely not worth it. And it's borderline not worth it even with those assets getting traded. So in my opinion, trading up is not a great idea. That is the first thing that I wanted to talk about. Now, let's get to the candidates. James Wiseman, the 7'1" man coming out from the Memphis Tigers men's basketball team. The 7'1" man. Very, very, very athletic. He's a beast on the boards. He can get rebounds, a solid defender. Maybe he needs to have a little bit more work on his shooting overall. Apparently, there has been good things talking about him, about potentially getting a bigger jump shot. He can make threes here and there. But this man is looking to be the future center beast of the NBA, and he could be coming to the Chicago Bulls if all ends up coming in our way. Now, in my opinion, this is a player that is good. He reminds me of a little bit of a more athletic Andre Drummond, maybe even a Dwight Howard type with a better jump shot. I think he'll definitely be a great fit for the Chicago Bulls. However, this is a player that I just don't see happening. Now, the reasons why, most likely he's going to go to the Warriors. That's the way that I see this going. I see him definitely going to the Warriors. I don't think Minnesota will need him. Hornets might pick him up if he's still available at the 3rd pick. But besides that, I don't see where else you could possibly go for the Chicago Bulls. If those 3 teams don't select him, we might have to do it. But despite that, man, he is a great player. If things do go our way and he ends up getting to the 4th pick, I see the Bulls definitely doing this. But in my opinion, the Warriors are destined to get this player. He's an absolute beast on the boards, man. As I said before, this guy has a very good package for his size, man. He's 7'1" and he looks extremely athletic. He's going to probably be a one-of-a-kind center, man. But we're going to have to see where that goes. It looks very interesting. He is definitely a player to look out for. Even if he doesn't come to Chicago, keep your eyes on this guy. He will be a monster. Anthony Edwards coming out of Georgia is most likely going to be a very, very high pick in the NBA draft. A lot of people see him having being number one, this guy's been compared to the likes of Dwayne Wade and Donovan Mitchell. He clearly has a nice touch around the rim. He's a good slasher, has the right decision making for a guy that his age, and he looks to be an already made star coming into the NBA draft. Now, as the Bulls will probably not get this player once again, because in my opinion, he's definitely going to Minnesota. There is still a lot to talk about just in case this guy does end up coming to the 4th pick. He seems to be a very good player. Of course, it's in a position where we do have a fantastic player in Zach LaVine. Maybe we can end up playing both of them together. Again, this is a guy that I don't see coming to the Chicago Bulls just because his value seems to be first. That's pretty much where I think he will go. Of course, it's mock drafts, anything can happen, but this is definitely a player that, in my opinion, has all the talent in the world to make it into the NBA and to make it as a high-level player. We're just going to have to wait and see where or not that potential is lived up to, and I think he'll contribute right away. But he's not a player that I think the Chicago Bulls will get, unfortunately. We will probably have to look elsewhere. Obi Toppin from the University of Dayton. He is 6'9", 220 pounds of raw athleticism. He could definitely get around the court. He is a good dunker of the ball. He is a tremendous athlete, and he looks like he could potentially be a very, very high pick for the Chicago Bulls. Now, there are a few things that could be a potential risk if we draft a player like Obi Toppin. For first instance, he is 22 years of age. He's had a little bit more experience in the college game, so that could be a potential risk of drafting a higher age player. Just in case it doesn't work out, there's a worse chance that he will succeed. But this guy looks like he will be exactly the player that the Chicago Bulls could be looking at. If we're looking at a faster pace and running of the court, then he could be a perfect player for us. Again, he's more of a power forward than a small forward, which is what we're probably going to be looking for. So this is probably another reason why I don't see him coming to the Chicago Bulls. Again, if we pick the best available, he could definitely be up there. I don't see this being a Bulls pick, but if it does happen, I'm sure. I know a bunch of people that absolutely love this guy. I've seen highlight montages of him. I've seen the way that he plays. He looks to be a very solid NBA player that will probably make an impact right away. The question is that what we're looking? Are we looking for a player that will probably take the position of one of our better players in Larry Marketing and even Thaddeus Young off the bench? That's going to be something we wait and see. And I do see this happening in some ways, but in other ways, I do see us looking elsewhere for something else that the Bulls really do need. Lamelo Ball. What do I have to say about this guy that no one already knows, man? This guy has been a superstar for a long time due to his family name. However, this guy has just come out of playing from Australia and has had a fantastic season. He could definitely be a very, very high pick for the Chicago Bulls, and in my opinion, is probably the most likely player to end up in Chicago unless he doesn't go third to the Hornets. If the Hornets do pass up on Lamelo Ball, I see the Bulls probably getting this guy. That's just my opinion. That's the player that I personally want. But there are strengths and weaknesses to Lamelo Ball's game. And playing in Australia, there are a few things that you see differently compared to playing in the college scene. First of all, Lamelo is known for being a good shooter, but his percentages in Australia have not been great. So that is the first thing to take into consideration when you're going into the NBA, that his shooting percentage was not great, but he will be playing with better players, and you expect him to take less shots than what he did for his team in Australia. There is no way that the Lamelo Ball is going to be taking all the shots. It's just not going to happen, especially when we have so many shot creators. Secondly, he is a point guard. However, he is a very tall point guard, which can allow him to play in multiple positions, probably play 1 through 3. So he could definitely be a versatile player for us. But that could halt Kobe White, and a lot of people don't like that. That's something that has been very big in my last video's comment sections on the Chicago Bulls, is that we cannot halt Kobe White's development. He must be a priority focus. And even if we get LaMelo Ball, in my opinion, I still see Kobe White being a very, very, very vital player for us next season, and I do see his development getting even better than what it is this year. But LaMelo Ball is something that we could be looking at as a Chicago Bull. What do you guys think about that? That's personally the player that I want. I think he's perfect for us. He is a decent shooter. if he just needs to get up his percentages, to be honest. But he does look like a decent shooter. He is a fantastic passer of the ball. He gets people involved, and he's very versatile. I think this is the perfect player for the Bulls to sign. There is another player that we could also talk about as well that's very similar, but we're going to have to see where this goes as well. Killian Hayes is someone that I didn't really know about coming into this NBA season, into this NBA draft, but he is someone that has also been linked to the 4th pick of the Chicago Bulls in a potential mock draft. Now, he's from France, he's 6'5", he has great passing, great intangibles, he seems to be a very, very solid player. Could this be the future point guard of the Chicago Bulls? Now, look, what I said about Coby White in the Lamelo Ball's preview is probably the same thing you could say in this one. However, I don't think Coby White is going to be just an out-and-out point guard. So that's why I think we're desperately looking for a playmaker at least. Not necessarily in the point guard position, but just a player that can move the ball quickly. And I think that this could potentially be a good player for us. However, since I've not known enough about him, my education on this player is very, very low. I can't say that this is the best pick for the Chicago Bulls until I find out more research, but he is definitely someone that has been put into this position as the Chicago Bulls are looking at. And we are looking for playmakers. We are looking for people that can pass the ball and to create their own shot as well, to make it more diverse and make it harder to guard us. He could definitely be a player that could do that for us if we do get him with the 4th pick. Danny Adija. Now, wow, this player has created a lot of controversy on my last video. It really seems to be a mixed bag between a lot of people saying that he is the right pick for the Chicago Bulls and a lot of people saying that he is not living up to the hype that's been given to him. This player has been linked to Luka Doncic. That is his comparison. Now, I don't see that being the case. I don't think anybody can light up a candle to Luka Doncic at the moment. So I'm not going to take that as gospel that he's going to be Luka Doncic. But what I do see is a player that could definitely do well for us as a point forward. He is very good at passing the ball. He's great, has great athleticism. He can definitely shoot the ball. The one negative you could potentially say that has him kind of getting a lower pick than the 4th pick, in my opinion, is that he is not very good at handling the ball. It seems like he does let the ball slip often, and it could be easy to steal the ball from him. But besides that, this guy seems to be the whole package for us. He has been dominating the EuroLeague. I know his points averages isn't great. I believe he's averaging 13 points per game. But if you think about it, Luka Doncic averaged 12, I believe, before coming to the NBA. So that for me does not matter at all. I think that it's very hard to play in European basketball or any sort of men's league when you're a teenager like he is. So it's going to be difficult, and it's going to be a developing process. In the NBA, things should become a little bit easier for him because he's going to be versing a lot of players that are probably going to be similar ages, especially in today's NBA. It's about having young assets, a young core with a little bit of experience. That's basically how most teams go these days. So, in my opinion, this player is also going to be a perfect player that the Bulls could pick. For me, it's Lamelo or this kid right here, because seriously, in my opinion, you need someone that can pass the ball. We definitely need a wing player. That's probably the place that we definitely need a player, because we don't know what Otto Porter's future is after this season. We don't know if Chandler Hutchison or Denzel Valentine will live up to the hype that's been given to them. We're going to need a player there for the future who will take over the reins maybe after next season or even this season if we give him the opportunity. He is a perfect player in my opinion. If Lamelo Ball gets passed up, if Lamelo Ball gets picked, this guy could definitely be someone that we're looking at. He was projected to go in the mock draft that I saw to the New York Knicks at 8. I don't see that happening. I see someone picking him up well before 8, but you never know. It all depends on the team's wants and needs. We are in need of a wing player that can pass the ball. He is the perfect player if we're looking for the exact qualities that we need. So it all depends on the Chicago Bulls. Are we looking for the best player available, or are we looking for team needs? Because if we are, then it could be two different situations. However, this is a player that definitely could be a potential player for the Chicago Bulls to pick up for. Very interesting. So those are the 6 players that I think will make their way potentially to the Chicago Bulls, depending on the circumstances of other teams. There are, of course, a lot more players that we can discuss. There's always going to be more players that could potentially be linked to the Chicago Bulls. Just looking at the mock draft alone, you have the likes of Tyrese Haliburton. You also have Devin Vassell. You have a lot of picks. You have Onika Okoronkwo, who I've heard about a lot. In the end, I'm reading the names because it's very hard to pronounce them. But there are a lot of players that could still be linked to the Chicago Bulls if we are looking for best available products. I truly think, in my opinion, that it's between Lamelo Ball and Denny. It could be Obi Toppin as well. We have a lot of ways we could go here. In my opinion, the Chicago Bulls moving to the 4th pick has been the best news I've heard all year. It's definitely been a fantastic ride to know that we're going to get a quality player. And if we pick correctly, we could get a player that could see the Chicago Bulls right to the playoffs and right to the future of this franchise, which is exactly what we're going to need. This is going to be perfect for us. And this player, whoever Arturius picks, I will trust. Whatever the case may be, we back the changes that have been happening, and we're going to back the player that does end up making his way to Chicago. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about the players that I think will be coming to Chicago. If there are any more that I have missed out on, again, as I said in the last video, and as I will say in this video, I am not a person that is well educated in the NBA draft, in college basketball, in European basketball. I'm familiar with some players in Australia, because obviously I'm from Australia, so that makes a lot more sense to me. That's why I really rate Lamelo Ball compared to probably a lot of the other players that maybe other people rate over Lamelo Ball. That's just my personal opinion. I only know from what I see. And there's been some good players here that I have listed. Some of them will probably go above top 4, and some of them will definitely get picked 4th or even below. Some of these players can definitely drop. Whatever the case may be, we're going to have to wait and see where things go. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below. Who would you take with the 4th pick of the NBA draft? The Chicago Bulls will select. Who is it? Have a wonderful day. Take care and peace.